Hello and welcome. You are listening to episode 111 of the Nearly Men Video Games podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday, 16th of June, 2022. I am Colin NM, and joining me today is Paul Kozinski.
Oh, hi there.
And Blunderboy 87.
Evening all.
We are the Nearly Men, and this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy. We don't have anything to do with the video games industry. We don't make them. We don't sell them. We're not even particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you, yes you, have probably kicked our asses online. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Expertly done, Colin. Expertly
I was expertly done, right? So a little peek behind the curtain. I mean, we're peeking behind the curtain even earlier than usual. It really does show you my professionalism, the levels of my professionalism. That I didn't check the script at all beforehand, and Paolo does, changes all the script. And Paolo did change the episode number, did not change the date, and I very nearly said Thursday, 2nd of June.
Nearly got him. I just thought we should explain that since we were all wetting ourselves as we went live.
Well, I mean, and I literally realised as the episode was going, I had to give him some abuse for it. Give him some abuse. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to all our lovely listeners out there in podcast land, and of course to all our wonderful viewers out there in Twitch land. We can see that Twitch chat bouncing away. Hello to all you lovely folks.
Hi.
Gentlemen, how are we doing?
No bad.
All right.
Bit tired, but no bad.
We are a bit knackered, aren't we? It's just everything's a bit mad at the moment. IRL. Just
Crawling to summer.
See, it's all. I'm looking very grey, and I can't work out whether that's actually my skin tone that's grey or actually just lighting that's doing it. But it's happening. It's probably a bit of both, to be fair.
You've been running yourself into the ground, son.
It has been mad, to be honest. And actually, precious few video games
I know.
have been able to be played as a result.
I barely played anything.
Yeah, it's mad. Paolo's been jumping about a wee bit, doing a few different games, which we will be discussing. And Blunder and I have managed to dip our toes in a few wee things. But it has been a pretty jam-packed couple of weeks of game announcements, so we're going to discuss some of them. And of course, we'll be talking about what we've been playing and what the community have been playing as well. If you would like to let us know what you've been playing, or if you've got opinions on anything else, well, here is how you get in touch.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kozinski, all one word. Follow Blunderboy at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
Yes, indeed. What are you waiting for? Let's not forget as well, we of course do have a wonderful range of merch available at printbunker.co.uk/collections/the Nearly Men. You can go into the little collections tab and find us in there. You can get yourself a lovely t-shirt or hoodie, very affordably priced, including postage. You can get t-shirts for $15.99 and hoodies for $20.99. All of them are in a range of colours, and we have 3 different designs. We've got the Nearly Men heads, we've got the Nearly Men controller, and we've got the Nearly Men Tetris design, which is currently being modelled by the one and only Mr. Blunderboy87.
It's very beautiful.
I, of course, have the heads on. The heads one.
I want to say something.
Yes.
No.
Do you think that the hoodies are better value than Game Pass?
Because I've not played Game Pass in about 6 months, but I wear my hoodie every
You wear your hoodie all the time. So there you go.
So maybe
There you
the
go.
Nearly Man hoodie is the best value in gaming. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I mean, I'm okay with that. Yep.
I'm just throwing it out there, seeing if anybody catches.
Yep. That's
And
a
you
very
won't
good
get a hoodie
possibility.
on Game Pass.
That's true. You absolutely will not.
Guaranteed.
But if you've seen them out there, what a time to go and get one. Please do support the channel. It's a great way to support us all, and of course, represent the Nearly Men community out there in the world and show off what an awesome community you guys are. So please do check out at printbunker.co.uk/collections/the Nearly Men.
Beautiful.
There we are. Right, gentlemen, I suppose we should get straight into this. So, right after our last stream, we had the PlayStation State of Play. It was on at a really late time of night. It was like 11 o'clock, and Paolo and I were absolutely burst. Was it just you and I, Paolo? I'm trying to think.
No, Blunder.
Oh, Blunder was there as well.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lost in the ether. I can't quite remember where it all sat. But yeah, PlayStation State of Play was just a matter of weeks ago. And here's all the various things that were announced. I'm going to just fly through them all, and we can have a wee discussion about a few things that were there. Of course, Resident Evil 4, that was the big announcement. It's coming to PS5 next year. Blunder's going to talk a little bit about that in a while, which will surprise nobody. Street Fighter 6 has been fully revealed. There was some details on new fighters, its roster, the drive system, world tour, all that sort of stuff. Final Fantasy 16 is launching in summer 2023. We saw a new trailer. There was some gameplay stuff as well. Resident Evil The Village is in development for PSVR 2, which was something I was kind of looking forward to. I was quite excited. I'm a wee bit bummed it's coming to PSVR 2. Probably means it's not going to work with my old VR, but who knows? It'll be interesting to see. We also saw on the PSVR stuff, there was quite a lot of PSVR stuff. There was Horizon Call of the Mountain, which is a standalone VR game in the Horizon. I say a game, it might be more of an experience. We're not exactly sure yet, but it's in the Horizon world. Looks very impressive. There was also some a little trailer for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, which is in development for PSVR 2. It looks real cool. Looks really cool.
That's exciting.
And of course, No Man's Sky will also take flight on PSVR 2, so you can finally play that game and actually see what you're doing in VR. Potentially.
I couldn't let it go.
Stray, which is described here as an intriguing feline adventure. It looks pretty cool. It's coming this July as part of PlayStation Plus. It does look interesting. It kind of looks like the sort of game that Sony would make. Marvel's Spider-Man series is coming to PC. I know there'll be a lot of people quite excited about that. We've also got quite an interesting game here. It's got quite a cool art style, and it's called Rollerdrome. It's by the creators of Ollie World. And it's a sort of futuristic blood sport in a sort of like 1970s style roller disco almost. It looks pretty cool. A really frightening looking sci-fi horror game, that very much when I first saw it, I thought was potentially a new Dead Space. It's called the Callisto Protocol. Looks really cool. Looks really cool. We also saw Season, A Letter to the Future. We saw Tunic, and we also saw Eternites, which is a dating sim meets action adventure. What was there anything jumping out at you guys out of those ones?
Not for me particularly, no. I suppose Stray caught my eye more than it normally did. It's one of those games that I'm a wee bit like, we've seen so much of this game. I keep seeing it everywhere. Every show is a wee bit more of Stray. But I suppose what really caught my eye was it was going to be part of the PS Plus. And I thought, oh, that's good. Well, I could play that without having any hit. You know what I mean? So, out of all the games there, that was probably the only one that tickled my eyes.
Okay, Blunder, yourself?
So Stray's been on my radar, but I've not really seen much. I think it's because I'm doing that thing where that sounds fun. I don't want to see too much of it. Like I I didn't know about The Walking Dead since it's in Chapter 2. That's exciting because I loved the first one.
Did you not see this? Did you not see this live?
No,
You need to check the trailer.
saw bits of it, but I didn't see all of it. So I need to go back and have a look at that.
Yeah, it looks good.
And of course, Callisto Protocol just looks amazing. That's again. So that's from the team that made the original Dead Space, I think, or there's a link to Dead Space there.
I think there is a link, yes.
And then originally, when it came out, it was set in the PUBG universe, which was really weird. But
winner, terrifying space chicken dinner.
A month or two ago, they announced it is no longer part of the PUBG universe, I think, because they were just like, it really doesn't suit. And I think they wanted to just make it its own IP. But that looks really good. I look forward to screaming and playing that a lot.
I thought that was a game, despite the fact that it's going to be scary, kind of looks like a game that actually I kind of thought Paolo might be tempted by. Kind of game he'd be tempted to play and then like wet himself and run away from.
The scariness puts me off. It really does.
You watch me play it, son.
Yeah, it does look very scary.
Behind your pillow. But no,
because I tried the medium. You know, I played through the medium.
You finished it, did you not?
I did, but I was not comfortable in one moment of it. And
that's the point.
It ruined it didn't ruin the enjoyment. That's unfair, but it definitely. It definitely makes me go, right, I just want to do this, want to finish it. You know what I mean?
They just know your thing, are they, Paolo? They just know your thing.
When I play horror, I get that feeling, but it's never like I just want to finish. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Sorry, Blunder. Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I know. What's
your thoughts?
It looks excellent. I like the fact it's kind of knights in armor and kind of back to the origins and stuff.
The origins of the original ones, yeah.
It's set in thingy. Is it not the same world as one of the online games? I think I was looking at it more, but it looks good. And
PUBG.
It was really PUBG. Final Fantasy PUBG crossover. It's funny. It's really divided the fans online. Some people are like, this looks rotten, and then some people are like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Wait a minute, video game fans with hot takes? Surely not. Next, they'll be starting up a podcast. God damn it!
It's a medium to express their opinion.
I think I'm a bit like for Final Fantasy and Resident Evil. I'm like, I'll take what you're giving me, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I'll give it a shot. But it looks good. It looks sick.
That's Blunder just saying that he is a Capcom and Square shill, and he'll just have it all. He's the reason that everyone gets remasters. And you know, Blunder, you get awful snippy about The Last of Us, but you know what? You're the reason that people do this. It didn't make the state of play, but there was a leak about The Last of Us remaster. The Last of Us, it's now going to be called The Last of Us Part 1. I still don't think in any world we really need this remaster or remake. But it does, what I've seen, it does look quite impressive. We're sort of in quite a lucky position where we've got quite a good relationship with Sony, and inevitably will probably or possibly receive a code, so we might get a chance to have a go at it anyway. Whether I would spend £70 on it, I don't know. But the idea of flying through or having a shot to replay that with new combat and new gameplay mechanics and haptics and all the new animations and stuff, it does appeal to me. But I don't think I'd be spending £70 on it. Anyway, it's out in September. Is that correct? September? I think it's September. I can't remember.
I think you may be
I'll double check.
Surely Uncle Jeff Keighley is going to be raging because The Last of Us was essentially the big one more thing for Summer Game Fest.
Summer Game Fest, that's right. Summer Game
slipped it out.
That's of course it was Summer Game Fest.
So I'm no convinced Jeff Keighley will be kind of knocking Sony's door for anything anytime soon.
Well, they'll just offer him some PlayStation trainers and he'll be absolutely fine.
Oh man! Can I say that watching Summer Game Fest, I said to you boys, I was slightly disappointed with Uncle Jeff's shoes this year.
They were very understated.
I thought he would went all in his jacket, which was very a shiny, sleek black number. But then there was a closer shot of him, to which we got a good look at his shoes, and they were pretty much Sony trainers. They were like black with blue. They weren't quite lighting up, but they were very reflective, blue thin lines outlining it. They were actually quite nice, but not garish like normal. Disappointing.
Maybe he's grown up. Maybe Jeff Keighley's grown up.
What?
So that was that. We then had just on Sunday there, we had a massive announcement. Well, a massive showcase from Xbox and Bethesda, and they showed a whole bunch of stuff. So I'll kind of mention a few things. I might not mention everything. If there's anything we want to talk about, we'll have a wee shot about. But it started off with Redfall, which looks really great. New game from Arcane. It's a kind of vampire multiplayer sort of game with sort of spells and stuff. The sort of thing you usually expect from Arcane, but it looks pretty good. We saw Hollow Knight Silk Song. That's coming. Both of those games are day one Game Pass. We saw
Silk Song, finally.
Is that a
High
sequel
on
or is it
Life.
DLC?
It's a sequel. It's a whole new game.
Yes.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Sequel.
Yeah. So that'll be quite cool. It did look good. High on Life is very strange. This is a sort of Rick and Morty game with guns that are like talk at you and make jokes. It was making me laugh, but I did see a lot of people thinking it looked very obnoxious.
No.
I think it's kind of one of those games you could probably play in very very small amounts. Yeah. But it looked all right. What else did we see? A Plague Tale Requiem End of Innocence
Still not
trailer
played the
was
first
shown.
one.
What?
I know.
I'm only about
So
halfway through the
good.
first one. It is good. I haven't finished it.
Disappointed.
I know.
Just
I've
be
got it.
disappointed.
We got a code for that actually.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I finished it all. I get the disc.
You got the disc guy, and then I got.
And I
a code,
finished it right through. It was amazing. I'm dying for the next one. I cannot
It's
wait.
very good. It's very good, and the new one looks excellent. And there is a big reveal that you can actually kill people now. So in the
You can't people in the
previous-
first one.
Well, yeah, but you couldn't really you can't go up and knife them and stuff. You use things to do it. Do you know? Like you send rats after them and stuff.
No, you can lob in the head with stones.
Well, no, now she's full on Assassin's Creed, coming up and stabbing folk in the neck and all that sort of stuff.
Amicia. Oh my goodness.
Proper stealth kills and stuff.
That boat really changed her.
So yeah, that was quite cool. We then saw a genuinely extraordinary reveal for Forza Motorsport. Despite the fact that I'm not really a racing car guy at all, and these are the sort of games I'd put on for a little while just to go, oh, look how pretty it is, and then I'd kind of stop playing it. It did look spectacular. The ray tracing that they're using for real world reflections on cars is very, very impressive. The sort of world, weather effects, lighting effects, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it looked photorealistic. I was very, very impressed with it and the level of detail they're going into. I think, Gran Turismo, what was the GT7? Yeah. Went very, very was very, very impressive, and then of course it just went even more impressive. It was really good. I can see Sherry Bobbins in the chat questioning the jacket. It was a brown jacket, was it not? No, that's Todd's. That was Todd from Bethesda, Sherry.
You're getting confused with Todd.
You're getting confused with all the various men dressed like teenagers.
Todd Howard, isn't it? Todd Howard.
Todd Howard from Bethesda. We then saw the 40th anniversary trailer for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which looked spectacular. Paolo, are you interested in the Halo dropship and flying into space in Flight Sim?
Do you know, I'm not particularly, it's not really, it doesn't quite fit the game. Somebody asked me on stream if I was excited by it, and I was like, no, I don't mind it being there for people that are. but it doesn't quite
Quite
fit
cool
in
to
the
fly
game.
into space for a wee bit, though, would it not?
You've got your space game though, is that right?
He has got a space game.
I would rather do it with a space shuttle. I'd rather do it with a real life. The idea is that it's a real thing. So I'd rather do it with the space shuttle or Richard Branson's thing, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Not his.
Not his one. Yeah, but the Halo one, that's fine. But no, it doesn't excite me.
We also saw Overwatch 2 that's coming 4th of October, and it's free to play. Free to play Overwatch 2. That's quite exciting. I've never played any of the Overwatch games. We saw quite a cool game called Ara History Untold. This is a sort of alt history kind of strategy RTS game. Looks quite cool. So, you can build things. There was like pyramids being built in the snow and stuff like that. Looked quite cool. Bethesda showed Elder Scrolls Online's latest expansion, which was the High Isle. They also saw there's a new expansion for Fallout 76, which takes you to the Pit. Now, we've been to the Pit.
Fallout 3?
Fallout 3. The Pit was Pittsburgh. So, returning to that. Forza Horizon 5 got a Hot Wheels crossover. There was an announcement for that. We also saw Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur again for Ark 2. We still didn't see gameplay. We just saw that trailer. And I don't know, going all in on Vin Diesel seems strange. We did see Scorden. Now, this looks awesome. It looks horrible and nasty and disgusting, but awesome. This is the Now, let me get this right. Is it H.R. Geiger?
It is.
Yes, H.R. Geiger, who, of course, is the person that did all the concept art and was, for Alien and sort of then Prometheus all kind of went on that as well. He designed the Xenomorph and various other things, the ship that the aliens found on and all that, all these spectacular designs. This game is very much designed on that sort of art style. It looks very, very cool. Probably too scary for Paolo. Another game that Paolo would quite like to play but might not manage.
I remember when this was this revealed at one of the PlayStation. I'm sure it was one of the PlayStation showcases when it was just before the PlayStation 5 or something.
Yep, I think so.
And I remember seeing it, and it's left a bitter taste in my mouth because I thought it was an Alien game. I thought it was going to be, and when I found out it wasn't, I was like, oh, not that makes it a bad game. I just think it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Now, if it was on the PlayStation thing, then things have changed because it's now a console launch exclusive on Xbox. Now we saw some of the wording on things, and what I don't know is console launch exclusive seems different from console exclusive. So I wonder if a lot of the Bethesda stuff is launching on Xbox platforms and Xbox consoles first, and then eventually coming to consoles, as opposed to saying console exclusive. I would
read console launch exclusive as when it comes to console, it's on Xbox first.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So not necessarily the only place you'll be able to play it on console will be on Xbox, but you'll play it first. And it's a day one Game Pass title. We also saw there's a fantasy action game called Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Did you see that one? It looks all right. I'm kind of quite tempted by that. Another one that's day one on Game Pass. Minecraft Legends, Frontier, A Fresh Start. There was Gunfire Reborn, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, which looked pretty cool.
That was quite nice.
Scrolling mystery game. A game I think Sherry Bobbins will be very interested in, As Dusk Falls, which is a sort of comic book style interactive drama from Interior/Nights that's out in July 19th on Xbox Game Studios, and Sherry Bobbins was actually going, please be before baby, please be before baby, please be before baby. So she was very pleased to see that it was. So
that could be a wee breastfeeding game, though. You know what I mean? She could be sitting breastfeeding, playing.
It could be a bloody what?
Breastfeeding sim.
Jesus, man.
Do you know what I mean? She could be sitting feeding.
She could be feeding a baby with, you know.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it all stop when the baby comes?
That is true, but
Flying your flag, Colin. Flying your flag.
Unbelievable. We also saw Naraka Blade Point, which is a Sekiro-style battle royale. Now, this is already on PC, but it's launching on console on July 23rd. It's also on Game Pass. This one looked quite cool. Did you see Pentiment? This is Obsidian's narrative adventure. It's sort of like, like old scrolls and like the Bayeux Tapestry, almost like it's all illuminated and drawn. The game's art style is like a medieval tapestry.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah,
really weird and really interesting. And Obsidian, of course, like to make some weird games. Speaking about Obsidian, they have finally announced. Bloody hell! Grounded is finally coming out of early access. It's going to be It's going to be released as a full game in September. And it's going to have an actual story.
indeed.
It looks actually very good. We've had high hopes for Grounded and had a very mixed experience, but I think our last experience with Grounded was actually quite good,
loved
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. The
I
last one.
thought it was so much fun.
So that'll be quite good. Kind of excited about that again. We also saw Ereban Shadow Legacy announcement trailer. A big one. One of the things they did point out was, and this was a very cool thing with Xbox, is they did say all these games are coming within the year, not the year of 2022, but within 365 days. And the next big reveal was Diablo 4, which looks amazing. I am very excited about Diablo 4. I think it looks great. I have to say, if anything won it for me, it's got to be the one that had the best song. And the best song was, of course, from the lovely team at Rare and Sea of Thieves. And I've been singing it all week. And if you want to be a pirate captain, then do it in Season 7 of Sea of Thieves. And now all of you will have that in your head as well. This is, of course, revealing that in Season 7, which is launching about July 21st, you can now name your ships, you can customize your cabin, you can save ship presets, things that you can earn and find around the world, you can decorate your cabin with to make it more unique and add to the role-playing element of the game. There's going to be loads more stuff, unique voyages and lots of stuff, but this is something people have been looking for a very long time, and I just love the way that Rare decided to announce it. It was beautiful. You should really watch the video, Blunder. It's very, very funny.
It was so funny because I wasn't at home when it was happening, so you two were texting, and Paul texts Colin like, Colin! And all these exclamation marks. Then Colin's like, oh my God, no way. And I was like, what? And then he put something really fake, and I was like, is Colin in the showcase in Sea of Thieves? I thought Colin like kept it quiet that he was in Sea of Thieves or something. I was like, what's going on?
As if. So yeah, we also saw Ravenlock, which is also coming day one Game Pass. Cocoon that's coming day one Game Pass. Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which looked really quite interesting actually. It's also day one Game Pass. Persona, the Persona series is coming to Xbox. That was a bit of a surprise.
345, yeah, I was a bit like, oh, that's interesting.
And then there was a surprise announcement, which made me go in my console wars sort of way. I went, traitor! But not really. Yes, Hideo Kojima is doing an Xbox. He's going to be doing a game with Xbox. It's not gone down well with some folk, as nobody's surprised.
An Xbox
but
exclusive,
that could be really quite something. An Xbox exclusive with Hideo Kojima. And finally, we saw a fairly extended look at one of the most anticipated games of the year, and indeed so many years, Starfield. What do we think of Starfield?
I feel like I don't know.
What? It's I really hope it's what they say it is. I really hope it's what they're advertising. I've got a real feeling it's not going to be as big as they're saying. It's not going to be as free flowing as they're saying. I really hope it is, because I want it to be good.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, Starfield is Bethesda's new space RPG. It's been, certainly everyone's been imagining it's going to be this big, huge, sort of almost never-ending sort of RPG thing. They did say that there's 1,000 planets in the game. Now, I have to say that having, well, as we well know with No Man's Sky, that doesn't really, there was a time when that excited me about No Man's Sky. Then I saw what you've found on multiple of these planets and realized that it's not quite as exciting. There's absolutely no way that they can have 1,000 very interesting planets. So I'm a bit like, maybe you don't need 1,000 planets. There's obviously going to be a fair bit of procedural generation and all that sort of stuff. But what we have seen, the customization of the ships, I thought you would have very much liked what you saw of that, Paolo. That looked cool.
Yeah, I did like that. I liked the fact you could build your own ship.
And it was quite modular as well. I mean, the amount of different sections of your ship that you could take out and customize and change, that looked really cool.
I like the fact that it's not just cosmetic. It's each thing's actually got a use to it.
Yep.
I mean, I just hope it's as big as they say. That's what concerns me, is that they're advertising it as this very customizable, very big explorative world. And we've been here before with other games, and it suddenly becomes a wee bit more kind of funneled
Cyberpunk.
in. Well, exactly. And you know what I mean. But I so wanted to be good because I'm so excited for it.
Let's be honest. Bethesda, Bethesda are not without fault. We know that they don't always get everything right, but one thing that Bethesda do generally know are these big RPGs. Yeah, it looks good. I don't know if I'm quite as excited as everybody else is, and of course, the last thing Paolo needs is another big space RPG game to play. But
exactly,
yeah. I think it could be quite cool. Yeah,
it's interesting that Bethesda have done a space RPG after the people who made Fallout New Vegas made a space RPG last year, which is excellent. Like, the Outer Worlds is fantastic, so good. I bought it twice.
Obsidian,
and it was like, I find it.
Bear in mind, though, these games have been. I mean, Starfield's been in development for like forever.
I see when they're like, we've got 1,000 worlds. I'm like, 4. Give me 4 worlds. I don't have time for 1,000 worlds. I'm like, just give me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like that. Like, I've said this about lots of games. The bigger people make their worlds, the more I'm getting put off them. I'm like, don't have time.
It did look quite interesting that you have to go to certain planets there'll be certain planets you will go to mine certain resources, things like that. And that could be quite interesting. But I do wonder, when I was younger, I loved open world games, and the bigger, the better. Of course, we've discussed this ad nauseum about the Assassin's Creed games, and now whenever the map opens up, I just feel anxiety building up in myself. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do this. When years ago I used to be like, yes, I can't wait. So yeah, there is a bit of me that kind of groaned a little bit when I heard 1,000 planets, but at least they didn't say there's 5 million or whatever it is in No Man's Sky. Yeah, was there anything else that sort of, I know I've just announced 1 million games to you. One thing, something like 30 of those games are coming day one on Game Pass. That is just more value being added to Game Pass. I say that as somebody who just bought another 6 months of it up in advance because it ran out. It literally ran out the day my Game Pass ran out the day of that thing, and I was like, son of a. So yeah. Was there anything else that jumped out?
Not that I can remember. No, I mean,
or any of the games I've mentioned that you would like to discuss.
I think the highlight for me was Starfield. I think, I'd high hopes for Starfield just because I love sci-fi and stuff, and having a story in sci-fi is always great like that. And it was a lovely surprise when they started saying things, you can customize your ship, you can land on it anywhere on the planet, all that kind of stuff that we didn't know. All that stuff was really quite exciting. I just as I said, I just hope it follows through. And the problem with me is with Bethesda games, I tend to really enjoy the first few hours of it, and then I start to get a wee bit bored. I start to get it becomes a reading sim. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if that'll be the case. But
I end up skipping a lot of dialogue.
Do you know
I don't know what's going on here.
And that kind of takes the flavour away from the game. Do you know what I mean? Which is a shame. But I know. I mean, I'm genuinely. I hope it's really good. That's probably the highlight for me.
I did see somebody talking about it, and we mentioned this slightly beforehand. It was kind of weirdly structured. They seemed to put all the same sort of games together. It was like, this is the shooter bit, this is the driving bit, this is the sim bit, this is the, this is the kind of indie bit, and that was a bit dull, because if you weren't interested in a certain genre, then you were sort of sitting there watching like 3 or 4 trailers of the same sort of thing, one after the other, and you kind of felt your attention dipping. It seemed a very strange way to structure it. I thought that mixing it up would have made it a bit more interesting and also made it a bit more exciting. So you weren't sitting there going, oh, well, I guess they're just doing card games just now. I'm going to go and get a cup of tea or whatever. I'll come back in a minute. So that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything absolutely blew me away. And I would say the same with State of Play. I think a lot of the big games people really want to see still haven't arrived. On PlayStation side, the town, we've not seen Ragnarok yet. That's the one everybody wants to see. We've not seen that. And over here, I mean, it's Bethesda. I'm sure Starfield's good, and I know a lot of folk. But what we really want to see is Elder Scrolls 6. I think that's what folk are really wanting to see. People are, and so one thing Todd Howard did say, I don't know if he said it here or he said it in the press afterwards, but he basically said that Starfield is out, and then the very next game they've got, which apparently is in early development, is Elder Scrolls 6, which is ridiculous because we've been waiting so long. If it's in early development, we can see that about the time of the next Xbox console. And then once they've done that, they're doing like Fallout 5.
Interesting.
Bit disappointing. Anyway, as if that wasn't enough. We did have another show, and I saw very little of this. I did see some of the announcements, but luckily enough, our resident Capcom expert, Mr. Blunderboy 87, resident expert, Mr. Blunderboy 87, is here to tell us all about the Capcom show.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't the longest show, and they spent most of it showing stuff no one was interested in. So I'll run through the interesting things for fast. So they showed off, I think it started with them showing off Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is a massive expansion to the Switch and PC exclusive Monster Hunter Rise. And a demo came out on June 14th. So if you're like Monster Hunter on the Switch or the PC, you can try the demo for this big new expansion that's coming out. I've tried a Monster Hunter. I did not enjoy hunting monsters. They showed off some of Exo Primal, which has been the biggest disappointment in Capcom this year because it's about dinosaurs. So it's about dinosaurs, and it has a red-haired female lead character. But it's not a Dino Crisis game, and it's not Regina. So they've really kind of been like, look, guys, dinosaurs and a red-headed girl, but it's not what you asked for. So it's a weird player versus engine game, kind of like Shadowhunt, I think. There was some details on it, but no one's interested in it, so we're moving on. The big things, of course, was Resident Evil news, and there was a whole bunch were getting spoiled. So out already, it came out 2 days ago, yesterday. Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake and Resident Evil 7 have had next-gen upgrades for graphics, frame rate, ray tracing, that sort of thing. And they're free upgrades on the PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Wee bit shinier. I think I can notice the new things in it. I played a bit last night of Resident Evil 2 Remake. And if you don't import your saves, you can do the trophies all over again. So that's been fun getting a whole new set of trophies. Because you know what I'm like with trophies. I'm like, hee hee hee.
I like some trophies.
So yeah, so they're out now. You can get them. You can go download them. You can do that thing you always say, Colin.
You can go home.
So they're out. So that was lovely. And everyone was we've been told they were coming, and Baker Boy called it. Baker Boy was like, "I think we're going to shadow drop." And as soon as that finished, it was like, "Out now!" And everyone was like, "Woo!"
I do. I'm a simple soul. I bloody love it when they do that.
That's what's missing from your showcases and your state of plays and all that.
Yeah, and again,
you're missing two things. You're missing that, and you're missing Keanu Reeves telling people that they're breathtaking.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of was exciting for some people, not others, Reverse is going to launch in October. This was meant to come out with Resident Evil 3 Remake.
I was going to say, is that not out? Have I not played that?
So
remember we played the other one, and this was the one that Blunder kept telling us was going to be the good one.
Reverse is just daft fun to me. People like it's not serious enough. It's a six player PvP where you just like death match each other. You get to play as heroes and villains of the series and shoot each other and special abilities. It looks like absolute chaos. I think it's going to be something that's a lot of fun, like just for a multiplayer night or something.
So it's like Marvel versus Capcom without the Marvel. It's like
Kinda,
Capcom versus Capcom.
Yeah, it's like
Cap versus Com.
What was that Play-Doh wrestling show on MTV?
Oh, Celebrity
Deathmatch. It's like that with Resident Evil characters.
Bloody loved Celebrity Deathmatch.
So it's like that, but you're like, so you start as a hero and you build up points, and you get to choose one of the big bad guys to come in as and beat everybody up. So it just looks like absolute shenanigans. Nice. So I'm looking forward to that, but some hardcore fans are like, it's disgracing the memory. I'm like, shut up. It's a game about zombies. We did have the Resident Evil Village DLC finally revealed, so we knew it was coming. Free DLC, I believe. It's called Shadows of Rose, and you get to play as Rose Winters, which is Ethan Winters' daughter, in the future. So 2037, I think it's set. So it's going right into the future, the Resident Evil timeline.
Well, so there's sort of minor spoilers, I guess, to the Village.
No, I'm not going to mention them. Don't worry, because we know he has a daughter. So.
Oh no! I was just going to say
I'm not going to mention any spoilers. Don't worry. But the DLC is full of spoilers, so don't watch it if not finished Resident Evil Village.
I was going to assume though. I kind of guessed they were maybe going to go this way. That's
so it seems to be that she's revisiting the past and kind of who she is and her place in the world. And if any of the Resident Evil heroes we know and love, we're going to see like Old Man Snake versions of them, so like Old Man Redfield and Old Lady Valentine. So if they show up, we don't know. It is third person. It's not first person. It has no first person mode, so it's the third person. They're also adding new characters to the Mercenaries mode. They're adding Chris Redfield. They're adding Heisenberg, who's one of the lords. And for everyone out there who's wanted to be stepped on by her, now you can step on people because you're going to be able to play as Lady Dimitrescu. She throws chairs at people. She grabs them by the throat. She hits them with a cigar holder or cigarette holder. She looks wild. She's
going to be a massive target, though. Literally.
Yeah.
She's like 8 foot tall.
Yeah. So everyone gets to play as her. So I think people will be looking forward to that. But also the thing no one expected is they're adding third-person mode to Resident Evil Village. So you can play the whole game in the style of Resident Evil 2 and 3 Remake. And they've put in extra animations. They've reworked the cutscenes to be all third person so they don't look awkward. So that's really exciting.
Are we going to see Ethan's face?
We are. We're going to see Ethan's face. They showed it a bit in the trailer. And that to me, I feel like that's given us a hint as to the next game is going to be back to over the shoulder rather than first person. The fact they've added that in. So it's really interesting. Resident Evil Village is getting a bunch of things. It's getting the VR2 treatment, but it's also getting the third person view treatment, which is interesting. So the DLC and all those goodies come out October 28th. And the crowning jewel was they showed and talked a little bit more about the Resident Evil 4 reimagining. It's more horror, it's more spooky, shinier graphics, and they've spoke about it being more in line with the series' vision going forward. Because Resident Evil 4 was a game changer for Resident Evil, brought new life to the series, brought new fans in. It is the only Resident Evil when I play, I like actually go, oh, this bit, because it's so disconnected to the series and took it like it's so action heavy. And clearly, after the popularity of 2 and 3 remake and big bits of 8, they're like, right, we're going to go back to the horror. And you'd really see that in the trailer. It's much darker, everyone's a lot grungier. It's a lot moodier, more atmospheric. It seems to be darker earlier in the game. We've confirmed Leon's in it, Ashley and Ada. We know what they look like. Well, some of Ada and all of Ashley. A lot of hints to the 3.5 version, which was scrapped, which was really a horror game. Okay. And there's been interesting links to the cult and village with the Los Illuminados symbol because they've changed it up a wee bit. So I think they're just making it.
So they're potentially fitting it, making it all a bit more canon.
They're going to link it a bit more to Umbrella, I imagine, because Umbrella's linked to the village. Village. That's not going to say that, but it looks like they're kind of and the in Resident Evil 3 remake they mention a parasite from Europe, so they're kind of this new timeline. They've definitely sat and gone, we want to make a unified timeline, which makes sense.
It's a funny one because Resident Evil 4, particularly the GameCube version of the game, is for a lot of folk like
that's their favourite in the series.
The absolute favourite.
I've owned every version of the game. Let's put it that way. So I enjoyed it, but I do play it and go, ugh.
But it is a bit of a sort of black sheep, isn't it? It is quite different in a lot of ways, and not just, as you said, because of the either because of the setting or because of the combat, but it just feels, although it does feel like a Resident Evil game, it feels
there's like no puzzles, and they do this annoying thing. It starts and it goes 2004, Umbrella fell. That's it. Like it jumps 6 years in the future and skips the fall Umbrella, and everyone went, "What? That's what we wanted."
It kind of feels as though they planned to dramatically change the direction of the entire series at one point, and then kind of went back on it a little bit and sort of lost their way. But I really like Resident Evil 4. I've been playing the original one. I'm kind of halfway through it, and I don't know whether I might just hold off now for this one. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Although I quite like the fact that it's a bit more actiony because I like shooting things. But I guess it was like the worst kept secret in the world that Resident Evil 4 was getting a remake. But it's nice to see it.
That's out March 24th, 2023. So we've got October for the Resident Evil DLC and Village DLC and the Reverse, and then March 24th, 2023 for Resident Evil 4 Reimagining. It's exciting times.
All right, so we best get moving on. Time's marching on, but we did have an awful lot to cover there. So, of course, it's time to go to subbies.
Do it, Blunder.
Subbies.
Play it in season 7 and Sea of Thieves. That's a better song, if I can remember the words. So there's a couple of Game Pass editions. I'm quite excited about this, by the way. 16th of June. That's today. You can go home. 16th of June. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is on console and PC Game Pass, and it looks bloody brilliant. It looks really, really good. Think sort of Streets of Rage, but it's a kind of retro Turtles game, and I've seen some reviews and it's bloody good apparently. 21st of June, Shadowrun Trilogy is coming to console and PC, and also on that day Total War 3 Kingdoms is coming to PC, and on the 23rd of June FIFA 22 is coming to console and PC. Paolo has been very excited about that coming to console, to Game Pass and get more people playing it. We mentioned about Naraka Blade Point when we were discussing the Xbox showcase. That is also coming to console and PC on the 23rd of June, and Escape Academy is coming to console on that day as well. The games with gold for June for the month of June, the full month, 1st of June to the 30th. You've got Avon Colony from the 16th of June. Hang on, 16th of June to 30th of June, yep, you've got Rascals. And from June the 16th to July the 15th, we've got Project High Rise Architects Edition. Moving over to the PlayStation side of town. This is the last month of PlayStation Plus as it is here in the UK before it changes over to the various different tiers. And for this month, the PS4 game is God of War. The PS4, you also on PS4 have Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, and finally, this one actually looks quite fun in a daft sort of way. PS5 and PS4, you've got Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, so you can be SpongeBob SquarePants and smash the bejesus out of Patrick's face for whatever reason you might want to. Yeah, so that, I mean, fairly unimpressive with the exception of the Game Pass editions, but that was your subbies. Gentlemen, we last week played some Evil Dead. Now, we've discussed quite a lot about this, but we did have a lot of fun. I think there is a few sort of matchmaking ranking issues with the game because we got absolutely whopped by some very powerful demons. So it might be interesting to see if they can find a sort of way of making things a bit easier and putting players of comparative skill against one another and make it a wee bit more potentially fun. But we still had quite a lot of joy, despite the fact we had very little success. What any thoughts on this?
I'll just echo what you said. I thought it was there's definitely an issue with everyone fully leveled up, newbies coming in. I think it's going to put people off, like we were saying last week.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't get fixed, it could be an issue. But I still got a lot of love for this game. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they'll get it fixed soon because it is a fun game. And I know there is supposed to be a new map coming, and there's a bunch of characters to unlock and things like that. So there definitely is scope for the game. But yeah, I hope they fix that sooner rather than later because we were getting battered. Blunder, anything to say on it?
No, it's lots of fun, but yeah, the matchmaking is a bit problematic where you feel like you're really not getting anywhere. And when it first came out, you were still like, oh, but I'm still doing things and getting points, whereas that last week we were not getting anywhere and getting no points. Yeah. They did tweet yesterday, day before, saying they've got a big summer update coming with the new map and some tweaks. So hopefully they're going to implement a few other things.
Might fix things pretty
soon.
That
might be coming summer. But yeah, it's lots of fun.
Paolo and I played a little bit of Sea of Thieves the other week, and we did the adventure. We left it to the very last minute, but Paolo and I did finally actually do the mission. This is actually footage of us sinking the world's worst reapers in the world, who for some reason decided to attack us completely out of the blue. They decided to attack us while Paolo and I were just doing an adventure and not bothering anybody. They came over and set our ship on fire, so Paolo and I just moseyed over, murdered them, and sold all their treasure. They had so much treasure. I don't know what they were thinking. It was inexplicable, wasn't it, Paolo?
A fool's error.
In the grand world, there's me stealing all their supplies as well.
My gosh, I love that.
Yeah, that was just a very strange choice. But we did a bit of both. There was two different paths to do. One was to save Golden Sands. One was to ruin Golden Sands. And depending on the community effort and what the community did, it was going to decide what happened to the glorious Golden Sands outpost in the game. And it was very close. I think it was 47% to 53% in the end. But the community's efforts all worked together, and they decided to save Golden Sands. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next with the game. But I'm just marveling at me murdering that guy right before he stole that and then taking it off and going yoink and selling it.
That's brutal.
Beautiful. He brought it himself. He shouldn't have set our ship on fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was lots of fun, wasn't it, Paolo?
That was great. Yeah, it was good fun. As we say, I like to think we tipped the balance. Unfortunately,
I think we did tip the balance.
We weren't going to do that. We weren't going to do the other side, and then we thought, well, we'll do it just to finish it. And
just
then,
to get the commendations.
Yeah.
And I think we tipped over the edge. That was 3%. I blew up too many rowboats.
Good fun, though. Good fun.
That was a lot of fun. There was a big release on another game that I know Paolo's quite keen on. I've very much enjoyed it. I got some of the community members in. We were playing it. There's now a console server browser being added
Hallelujah.
to the wonderful Chivalry 2 on the new update, which is called the Tenosian update, which has added mounted troops and horses into the game. So you now have cavalry, and it makes it every bit as ridiculous and brutal and hilarious as you might think. I bloody love this game. It is a lot of fun. There is a lot of love for it in the community, and I think we are going to definitely have to do a Nearly Men Chivalry event at some point, especially now there is a console browser. So now our friends in the US, our friends in Australia, anybody can join us now. I mean, obviously there'll be ping issues and all that, but we can get everybody in.
That's their problem,
now.
Colin.
Exactly. To be fair, Chivalry is one of those games where I'm not convinced that ping will either help or hinder you, really. I mean, it's chaos. You just die anyway. But the new update, the new faction, the Tenosians that have been brought in, the brand new maps. There's a whole bunch of new maps. They're excellent. It's really, really good. I had a whale of a time playing it, and I would heartily recommend people check out Chivalry 2. Lots of fun. Lots and lots of fun. Now, Blunder, you've got something cool to talk about, so we'll come to you in just a second or two, because I think we want to talk. I think we do want to talk about yours, Paolo. I'm sorry if I just gave you a fright there. But Paolo, you've been playing a bunch of stuff. What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing different things, like the usual Star Citizen, getting through that, just enjoying it, just being in the world. I picked up Elden Ring after a wee break, which I've not played in a while, and I've got to a certain point in it where it's the first time actually in the game that I've met a boss that I thought I can't finish you yet. I need to go away and do other things. So it set me on a whole other path of excitement and a whole new world I've discovered.
So you did the whole brave Sir Robin running away thing?
Pretty much, yeah. I gave it a good couple of goes, and then I thought, you know what, I can't do you yet. But I know, and then I went a different route, and as we spoke about a number of times with Elden Ring, it's, you think you've explored an area, and then you go back and you go, oh my gosh, there's this whole bit here.
It's genuinely astonishing. It's astonishing.
It's great fun. It's great fun. It's great to pick up and play as well, that one. Up two games that I have been playing though that I got keys from was Dune Wars, which is essentially a board game in a video game form. It's very much harking back to
Frank Herbert's Dune. Yeah.
Yes. Not the month of June. And it's harking back to the kind of RTS Dune game that was very much like Command and Conquer and all that kind of stuff. But it's not quite that. You don't amass units. You only have a certain amount of units. You do base build and you expand and all that kind of thing. But it's very akin to the likes of the Dune Imperium board game that's out at the moment, where you're essentially trying to spread your power. Basically, that's the idea. And it's very fun. It's very fun. I'm not going to speak too much about it because I think I will stream it and talk about it properly in another episode, because they're just about to release multiplayer for it, which I think is going to make it a really good game, really good fun game. But on its own, it is fun. It's fun. The other game I was playing is a Bakery Sim, which is one of these games that you pick up and you just think this is great. Because you can't stop playing it. It's just, I'll do one more thing. I'll do one more thing. I'll do one more thing. It's a really, really nice, as what it says in the tin, it's a bakery sim, and you just make certain bakery products and then get them delivered out. One thing is you're in the kitchen and you get the ingredients, you mix it up, you bake it, and then you package it up to put out. One thing that the game also offers is that you deliver it yourself, kind of Grand Theft Auto driving style. But they've taken that out at the moment because I think there was a lot of complaints about it kind of ruining the game. So they've taken it out and they're redoing it and going to put it back in. So at the moment you can only just send that out basically, which is a shame.
To be fair, the car controlled terribly.
Aye. Because it's still in the tutorial, so it teaches you how to do it, and then you can't do it in games. So it's frustrating. But it's great. It's an addictive. I saw you'd been playing this as well, Blunder.
I did the tutorial and then was like, "Oh, my brain's not ready for this tonight."
It's good fun. It's good fun. It's just one of these satisfying sims that everything, and the noises it makes are satisfying noises and all that kind of stuff. It's great fun. I ended up streaming it twice. I was only going to do a one stream of it, but I ended up streaming it twice because it was that fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about me. That's about me, man.
It did look good. Well, maybe Paolo will play it again. You can all see his lovely buns.
Yeah,
Oh my!
Now, Blunder, I'm very excited. That's why I left you to last, because I'm very excited about this. I know very little about this game. I'm not 100% sure I'm even going to like this game, but I am intrigued by it. Blunder, why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
So I picked up The Quarry, and I played through it all weekend, and I finished it.
Oh.
And it's really good. For me, I think it's better than Until Dawn.
Oh.
Okay.
Just because the story feels a bit more consistent, and maybe not quite as convoluted. But I still love Until Dawn. But I think the characters are a lot more likable and a lot more relatable and a lot more believable in The Quarry. But it's great. So basically, you're a bunch of kids at summer camp, and summer camp's finished, so you're the counsellors, not the kids at camp. So you're the counsellors who've been working at the camp at the summer, and you're kind of been told to head off home, but one of the characters is not ready to go home yet because he's deeply in love with one of the other camp counsellors. So they do a little bit of tomfoolery to make sure they stay at the camp one more night. However, that one night they stay, all hell breaks loose.
Fools.
And I can't really talk about any of it without giving it away, because the trailers do very well at not showing you what the game's about. So like the trailer's on just now. Now I hadn't watched the trailer, so I'm watching it, trying to see if what path it's pushing you down as a viewer. But the marketing is really smart, because you don't really expect a lot of things coming. It really encourages exploring the environments, and the environments are beautiful. It's a gorgeous game. There are bits, and Baker Boy and I were talking about this, there are bits you'd forget it's a game because the characters look so realistic, particularly in the later half of the game. There's one female character, and I'm just like, have they just filmed this scene? Because she looks amazing. But the cast are really likable. The choices are really fun. The choices really matter, and how it affects the story. There's something like 300 endings. Or something like that. So you get, it's expensive. It was like $64.99 for the digital copy, and I was like, I thought digital games were meant to be cheaper. But for the amount of work that's gone into it and the amount of stuff you're going to get out of it, I imagine that's why it's so dear. Now, but no, it's lots and lots and lots of fun.
Am I correct in saying this is also multiplayer? It's
not out yet, but yes, so you'll be able to play all 8 or 6 camp counsellors online with your pals. So when I read it, I thought it was more free roamy, and then you made choices, but it's not. So I don't know if you're going to be sitting like just watching people do stuff for ages.
Yeah, because I'm very curious as to how it will work.
I want to know how it works. I think it'd be quite good if you were like sitting on Discord chatting. Like you couldn't just sit in your house yourself playing it without talking to them. Right. Because it'd be really boring. You definitely need to be like chatting and going, oh, what do you think's happening next? Oh, what's happening? Oh my gosh, And there's bits I was like gasping and screaming out loud, and like I streamed it into the Discord actually, and Baker Boy was watching. If you scroll back, you can see, I think the chat might be there. You can see the chat like we were having with each other. But it's very entertaining. It's very good. Now I've finished it, I would stream it just because I didn't want it possibly getting spoiled. Right. Because the twists and turns and the shocks really were part of the fun. Yep. But no, it's really, really good. Really entertaining. They do have this poor like trope of getting all these teens in their underwear and wet. It's I'm a bit awkward now.
Well, that seems very sort of 70s, 80s.
Yeah. Well, it's set modern day.
No, I know, but
just the tone.
I thought it was set. I thought it was set in the 70s and 80s, and then it was like that's a mobile phone. But it does have a very kind of 80s horror film vibe to it.
Well, certainly even the trailer, the way they've got that, the way the sort of titles and the text are all coming up, that seems very sort of video nasty sort of.
Yeah. And there's like they've got lots of good callbacks to other horror films of the time period and kind of in jokes and stuff. And there's a Dead by Daylight Easter egg And it's again, you can miss it. It's nothing really obvious, but you find a book and you look at the book and it's called Slaughtered by Sunlight.
Okay, very good. Very good.
And Baker Boy was like, that could mean Until Dawn. It's like, nah, Until Dawn, it'd just be 2 words. I was like, that's definitely Dead by Daylight nod.
I mean, the whole thing thematically is very reminiscent, at least the very start of it, very reminiscent of Friday the 13th. I mean, you can tell it's very much, but all that whole genre of films is very self-referential anyway, and it's sort of they sort of borrow from one another and kind of it looks kind of cool. I don't know, these Until Dawn, Man of Medan, all that sort of stuff, they're just not really my sort of game. I find them a wee bit boring. I kind of want to do more. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a bit more to do, but gameplay wise, I just get very bored of watching cutscenes.
There's the quick time events are kind of simplified compared to other ones as well. Like quick time and they're not as difficult, I would say. But if you love a good horror story, it'll keep you going. Like Baker Boy, who goes to bed at 9 o'clock and he's up for the gym at 5 a.m, sat and played it in one sitting till 4 a.m. or something like that. Like that's how invested he was.
And it looks like it's got Sam Raimi's brother in it.
Yes.
Is it Ted Raimi? Am I making that up?
Something like that. It's got thingies
his
with
name's
David Arquette.
Ray Raimi,
and David Arquette's in it. But all the casts they're really good. It's a lot of fun. So I'll stream it at some point, I think, and you can have a look at the code.
Nice one. So the viewers have been in touch. There's a few things been happening. Bry22 has been in touch via the Discord. I've barely played anything beyond Star Citizen away from stuff from stream, unless Solitaire on my phone counts. It does not. I mean, it kind of does, but it doesn't. Ride or Die has been playing some Jedi Fallen Order. Of course, we know a sequel's coming to that.
That's put me right in the mood to replay that, by the way.
What, just hearing that Ride or Die's playing it, or the
sequel, to be fair, if I'm honest, it's the sequel.
GMC42 has been losing myself in Assassin's Creed Origins. Never played it before, getting stuck into it, really enjoying it. That's probably the last Assassin's Creed I actually really enjoyed. I really did like Assassin's Creed Origins.
Last one I finished.
I forced myself to the end and went, that should have been the game.
Aye.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Odentior, We Happy Few. What a strange game. That does look a strange game, but I'm kind of tempted to check it out.
It is the longest game in the history of video games.
What is it longer than Assassin's Creed Origins?
It's good, but my gosh, it drags on to the point that I've still never finished it. And I was enjoying it, but I was like, here we go again. So, you need to set yourself about 3 years to play it.
I can interest you in No Man's Sky. The longest tutorial in video games history.
Give you that.
Linsmar has been in touch. Linsmar, who's just recently started streaming, by the way, and has been streaming this game. Check out Linsmar on Twitch. Linsmar, I've been playing Life is Strange True Colors. It's like being in a teen Netflix whodunit show, totally absorbing mini games to lose hours on. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. And finally, our producer, our Lord and Savior and producer, Hamster Boy, Mr. Producer, has been in touch, all caps, saying, I am the Lord of all that is golden. Brackets, completed Elden Ring, and started it straight back up again.
Excellent.
There we are. I'm so close to the end of Elden Ring. I've been jumping back into Horizon Forbidden West. So in my limited time to play stuff. I need to get back into Elden Ring, and I know that once I kind of don't have space for both of them in my brain right now, so I'm kind of like swapping them about. But Elden Ring's bloody brilliant. It's still game of the year for me so far. So that's what the lovely chat have been playing. Our lovely listeners out there have been playing. If you'd like to get in touch, here's how you do it.
Love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
Okay, there we go. So, we've got some new releases. Let's rattle through them. Out today, that is the 16th of June. We've got Starshippers Terran Command coming to PC. Tomorrow, the 17th of June, you've got Oxide Room 104 coming to PS5 and PS4. Wreckfest is coming to the Switch on the 21st of June. And also on the 21st of June on PC, you can get the day before. On the 24th of June, you've got Madison. That's coming to Xbox Series consoles, PS5 and PS4. Also on the 24th on the Switch, you've got Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. On 28th of June, THQ Nordic are releasing MX versus ATV Legends. That's coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, and Xbox One. And on the 1st of July, can you believe it? We're talking about July already. But on the 1st of July, F1 2022 is coming out to PC, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, and Xbox One from Electronic Arts. So we've had a couple of things from the chat. Paolo, what have we had from the chat?
Well, regarding the hoodies, the lovely Major Consequences was suggesting that Game Pass isn't going to keep you warm at night to cry yourself to sleep.
Well, that's true. That's very true. So make sure to get your Nearly Men merch, particularly your hoodies from printbunker.co.uk collections/the Nearly Men. Amen.
With regards to Bakery Simulator, or what's it called? Bakery Simulator? It's Bakery Simulator, isn't it? It's not Baking Simulator.
It is, yes.
Bakery, yeah.
Diet Punk says it does what it says on the cake tin.
Very good. Yep.
Very good. And Baker Boy 32 with regards to
the game that's not Dino Crisis.
It's Anthem with dinosaurs.
Anthem with dinosaurs. And of course, Anthem was a roaring success.
Anthem should have worked. It should have worked, but didn't.
Yeah. Yep. That's that. So before we go, streams, gentlemen, streams.
Don't cross them.
I've got I don't cross them. Do not cross them. I've got a mad mental weekend, busy as usual. I don't know what I'll be streaming. I might be on Sunday night, but probably not. So I probably no streams for me this weekend, but you never know. What about Blunder? Have you got anything planned for the weekend stream wise?
No, we don't stream the weekends anymore. So I will not be streaming.
Weekends are his own.
Yeah, Tuesday, maybe on Monday night. I can think of what I'm working on, but Tuesday night I'll be back with a Resident Evil 2 remake on my PS5. So we'll go the PS5 version. We can try and see if it looks shinier in there.
I'm sure it will. Paolo, when are you streaming next?
I'm on Sunday morning for the Sunday Social this week, and then back to 10 a.m. during the week.
Nice.
Awesome.
So that is where you can find the Nearly Men for all your streaming delights. We will be back on this channel and in your lug holes in podcast land with episode 112 on the 30th of June at 8 p.m. So we hope you will join us for that. Thank you very much for everyone that's got in touch, all the lovely listeners out there, all the lovely viewers in the chat. It's always lovely to have you. And thank you to my lovely fellow Nearly Men for joining us.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, anything last to say?
Enjoy your charge pads.
Nailed it.
Ahoo-hee.
Ahoo-hee. Well, I wish I had. That was my fault for throwing to them. It was my fault for throwing to them. Anyway, thank you for listening, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.